was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Be
forward.
like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Hi there, my name is Primrose Mkhwebi and I'm a poet.
Hi, my name is Carla Diamond and I'm an entertainer.
Hi there, my name is Misa. I'm a singer, a businesswoman, and the founder of a Single Ladies Club in Kalicha.
My name is Karine. I'm a businesswoman in supplying.
I really love to read because it gives me like, I get super inspired sometimes, you know, when I'm just like, this is a good phrase for a song, or, you know, what would this do in a play? So I'm always like, excited by words and how they spark off, you know, my imagination.
When you grow up reading books at school just to pass so that you can go to tertiary and stuff. But there are books that you need so that you can be the woman that you want to be.
Words are so magical. The fact that you can transport yourself at any time of day or night and just go to a completely different place through your imagination and literally be there, it's just amazing, you know. And the fact for me even more that I can learn about my body, about my sexuality, you know, real hardcore facts, that for me is very sexy about words and education.
I'm focusing on reading on social, something that is related to social environment. Books have changed my life, especially I'm a mother. When I need direction or anything that is challenging me in my life, I always refer myself to the books that is convenient for the type of challenge that I'm actually facing. And the books have actually changed my life in the way of viewing things. Sometimes you can have like negative thinking, negative, you know,
exactly,
emotion, but when like you read some other books like for Joel Austin's Your Best Life Now, this book has actually changed my life.
What else have you read about? From him, yeah.
About positive mindset. You know, sometimes you're full of negative things that you may be living, you know, at home or in the society. But if you have like this type of books, you're reading, then you have another pictures of positive life. You know, it's something that can feed you also morally.
And it opens up your mind to other possibilities.
Yes. And book also can help you, you know, to change your life, and you can see that there's also another thing that you need to discover in life.
I remember having like a medical issue. I remember waking up and having like a really sore back and an awful tummy and not understanding, and then having to go to the doctor and say, oh, you know, I just felt like I can't wake up and take pain tablets, you know. And I discovered this author called Louise Hay, and she is a really amazing woman who she was a healer, and then she discovered that she had cervical cancer and her husband left her and crazy things happened, and she just like really helped me to connect the idea that you're not just a body, you're a mind, you're a spirit, you're a soul, as a human being on so many levels. How you need to connect with yourself is important. You can't just be like, oh, I'm looking good today, I'm feeling good. This, you know, how do I feel in my mind? What's going on in my heart? What do I really feel? You know what I mean? So through like her writing, I had to really discover that when this is happening in my body, this is the mental experience that I'm going through in order for that, you know. So it's really one big circle. Like, how do I as a human being connect with myself on all levels, and then really be the best person that I can be.
When you have a writer that writes in that way, it kind of leads you to a point where you are able to just see life for what it really truly is. You know, that you have a bad day today and tomorrow you have a good day.
We go through a lot, and sometimes you don't know how to deal with whatever is going on in your life, and books actually help you to realize, like for people who've been at the place that you are at, it's easy. They help you to understand the space that you're in now, and it's sad really because where we come from, like from our parents, they never really sat us down and told us to read books. So now as you grow up, it's a need. It's something that we need in our society as well.
Right.
Books is very important as a mother because you need to deliver. Because children, when they are at school, they are learning a lot. So they expect you as a mother to be at the same level as they are, especially on assignment. You need to deliver to help them at school. So with books, I think it's also give you a picture of what type of mother you need to be.
It's a challenge as well because of the way we've been raised differently, and then the times now are.
That's what I was going to
you
bring
know,
up.
because
It's that
yeah,
it's different generations.
yeah, it is, and
You know what I mean?
when you have a child, they expect you to know everything, and
yes.
actually does, and that's where the books help you.
With my 6-year-old, so I've got my 2 library cards. I take out like 14 books for that kid.
That's cool.
And if I need to read 14 books a night, I will. But just so that because I get so excited to see her excited because she's the man on the moon. Because I mean, the kids books take me to another level.
Absolutely.
It takes me to another level because if we think that the books that we read take us to another level, the kids' books, because there's no, the imagination is uncapped.
I have to literally fan off command of my computer. I have a little Lenovo, which obviously he can handle. Whenever he finds a moment when I'm not looking, he grabs a computer and he does it. And he also has his own computer, Leapfrog. And because like at the school that he goes to, a lot of kids like bring computers and stuff. I think that I don't want him not to know computers, but I do want him to know that books are very, very important. In fact, throughout your entire school life, you're gonna have to read a book. So you better get acquainted with it now already.
So for me, as a young mother, it's exciting for me to experience with her the words and how I can teach her things. Sometimes if you're having a one-on-one, it's different as opposed to let's read the book about my body.
Also, just to add on what you're saying, or just to pick up on what you're saying, for me, books when I was growing up were like such a fantastic escape for me because I was involved in so many worlds. I mainly went to a school that was very, very far from home, and at home we were like bombarded with this Christianity that we had to go to church, and then when you live in the township, you have to kind of be wise and smart and like streetwise and all that. So when you realize your own world, what is it that makes you tick? And for me, books with that thing that really, really, really made me tick.
My favorite book is the Bible, and the other books that we've read growing up in school. When we talk about books that relate to us, is the Mandela books, the Sid Biko books, understanding what they went through, because it's something that our parents went through. So if you ask anyone that doesn't read a lot, they will tell you a story because it's the books that we read at school. When we had the Julius Caesars, but when it comes to African books, that's the only books that you have to relate to. And it's sad actually because it's not the only people that were in the struggles then, but I don't know if it's because of publishing or anything like that. But those are the only main books that I know of, and it's the Bible and it's those books to help me through my daily challenges.
Having to read South African books. For me, when I was submitting my thesis, I specifically spoke about South African playwrights, but I had to open up my world into reading African literature as a whole. So I opened it up to people like Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe, all those African writers because there wasn't enough material.
What really affected me was Iyanla Vanzant.
Absolutely.
She has the most powerful testimony of a woman who has gone through, I've gone through some stuff. But the fact that I've gone through some stuff, and she's gone through some stuff, and I can relate to her stuff. Pain is pain. You don't get, I've got less pain than you have. You know what I mean? Pain is pain. So I could connect with her pain, and I was like, damn, I understand.
A lot of people always shy away from writing about sex. And for me, that's the biggest, it's like, why not?
Sex is part of life, So it's come on the 5 senses of living.
for a woman to do that, it's kind of taboo. You know what I mean? If it's a European woman, it's fine.
Yeah.
If I come out and I'm like, boom, I've got this really you know? So, I mean, I'm all about the fantasy, and that's really exciting. But at the same time, you know, there is kind of a judgment kind of factor placed on who the writer is.
There are South African women, two of them actually,
Yeah.
who are talking about sexuality in their writing. Wame is from Botswana, and this is her first book. And she came to South Africa to publish this book. And it's published by Mojaji, who is a publisher for women writers.
Interesting.
And this is a compilation of short stories written by Wame. And in the story, she's just basically talking about her life, and she's talking about her relationships. And in one of the stories, she talks about sexuality between man and wife, and this woman who had like a toy boy on the side, and how it's frowned upon in Botswana. And she goes into like a whole thing where she talks about the affair, and she talks about sexual positions and stuff like that. So I find it very interesting. So there's a very small place where someone is pushing the envelope. So
It's a beautiful title. Go
yeah,
Tell
Go
the Sun.
Tell the Sun. She's totally amazing. I love her to bits. And this one, Renee Ilwe, is from Limpopo, and she did a master's program with Rhodes University, and she wrote this book out of the Rhodes University master's program, and she wrote Love Interrupted. In Love Interrupted, there are so many stories about lesbian relationships, about heterosexual relationships, about relationships with like pastors of a church and teenagers that go to church. So it's also a compilation of short stories, and she's talking about sexuality as well.
We don't have so much libraries at the locations where we live. If you do go to a library, you're looking for a book to help you in your assignments. We don't have like books that you can enjoy, or like for our children, for us even as well, because we could go there and take a book and then return it. But there's no material for us to read. There's limits.
Yeah,
So
it's
there's
different.
only one library that I know of in Khayelitsha.
Exactly. I think that we need to discover ways of kind of also recycling. So if we, like a book club for example, but there are amazing people on the streets of Cape Town who just have these books, you know, that you can buy for, and the very expensive ones, for like a fraction of the cost. So I think in terms of recycling literature, that's cool.
For me, what really breaks my heart is the fact that, firstly, I can't really find Xhosa books, a lot of them. And when I do find them, I mean, Nkanisha, the stubborn one, is 98 Rand. And it's literally, how many pages? It's like 30 pages, and that's one book. For me, that's heartbreaking, because already it's a problem with the language, and now when I do find the book, I can't afford it.
I think that government should pay for books, because not all of us can afford books. Working women can, or maybe they should be reduced to a certain amount, because we want books for our children so that they can have a better education than we did.
If we had actual mobile libraries that on certain spots of certain days.
I think what we should do is basically do like a mass producing of books, so that somebody can pay for the mass production of books, so that they become less of such a commodity, like an expensive commodity.
My dream is for African literature to be recognized and absolutely distributed to Africans and to the world.
My dream is to see a better community where I live in Khayelitsha, and women being empowered.
My dream is that I want a government, South African government, to do something for South Africans.
My dream is to have as many books as possible for all the children who cannot afford to buy them.
Z. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.